Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Almost a year ago, I made my first video, as we can see on May 19th, 2020. And of course, it was on oil tankers. All right, so as the anniversary nears, of course, I have to do another update on oil tankers and how my oil tanker positions are doing. But before we get into it, I would ask, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, and I would like to get to 2,000 subscribers on the 1-year anniversary of my channel, because I think that would be amazing. I didn't even expect this kind of growth, but I'm very, very happy, and I think I've come a long way, let's just say that, since I made this video, okay? So yeah, feel free to check out my channel, as well as some links below in the description, such as my Discord link. It's all free. As well as if you're Canadian and you would like to buy and sell stocks, there's also a link to my Wealthsimple, and you get $10 there. So yeah, let's just take a deep dive. And when I analyzed NAT here, I'm pretty sure that was when the rates were sky high, at like $60,000 per day, whereas the spot rates now are around $6,000 per day. And let's just take a look at the price of NAT. It was $4.54. And in comparison, right now, NAT is $3.31, so more than $1 off of when we last talked about NAT, or when we first talked about NAT. Overall, I'm still bullish on oil tankers in general. Okay, I think that this is still an unnecessarily beaten down sector. There's not a lot of attention or hype going on into the oil tanker market right now, where everyone's shifting their focus to greener technologies. Over the 5 days, we're down by 4%. However, on the month, we're up by 4% on NAT. And similar thing can be seen for Frontline. 5 days, down, but on the month, we're still up by a little bit, by actually 12%. So pretty impressive there. And then EURN has actually been doing decently well as well, up by 12%. And DHT is down in 5 days and actually down on the month by 0.34%. Okay, and we're just going to go over the technical charts. Now, there's not a lot of volume going into tanker stocks right now. And again, I just think that right now, no one's really focusing on them, okay? But again, I think that these could be a pretty contrarian pick to put in your portfolio right now, especially when no one's really paying attention. I think I like NAT stock at 3.1, and it seems to be a pretty good supporting price when it's under its 50-day range. As we can see, 3.1 was a level right here, support right there, another support level right there, and it actually broke 3.1 right here. But again, even if you bought at 3.1, it eventually bounced to 3.5, and you could have sold for a swing play, for example. My cost basis is around $5.70. And I'm holding NAT for the foreseeable future to get the nice dividends. I've received over $200 in dividends so far, and because I think it's a semi-hedge against inflation. As oil prices go up, so do the tanker rates, and of course, when tanker rates go up, so do NAT's earnings. Okay, so that's why I have it in my portfolio now. And again, I don't see that selling at a loss right now will do me any good. So again, I potentially wouldn't buy shares right now. I could probably wait until it's at 3.1, but it might not get to those levels, but most likely it will. Okay, so we can see there's a bit of the opposite of a fish hook going on, the other side of a fish hook. So if this bearish pattern continues, I could see it reaching the $3.10 level. And with technicals, RSI is 50, so basically right in the middle, neither overbought nor oversold. And MACD is at 0 right there. So again, not much to glean off of those. But again, 3.1 does seem to be a good support level for NAT to bounce off. So you could wait and accumulate shares in there if you're interested in adding oil tankers to your portfolio. Okay, so next, let's take a look at the weekly tanker rates, and just shout out to Clarkson's Plateau Shipbroking. Not a sponsored video, by the way, but they just provide pretty good and accurate weekly tanker rates. So this is the average right here for the tanker rates. And again, this is what I was talking about back in the video, where tanker rates were through the roof. $60,000 for 2020 year to date. So for the 2020 year, it was 58,000 on average for the Suezmax tanker rates, which can have up to 1 million barrels of oil on their ships. So VLCC carried double the amount of oil. But again, very different picture when you're looking at the 2021 year to date is 6.8. And this past week, it was in line with the 6.8. $6,700 to put your oil on a VLCC carrier, and $6,200 to put your oil on a Suezmax. What's interesting to me and what I can't understand, and please, if you know what's going on, please leave a comment below in the description. Sorry, please leave a comment below. Tell me, why does Aframax have a higher spot rate than both Suezmax and VLCC? So Aframax carries half as much of oil as a Suezmax and a quarter of as much oil as a VLCC carrier. So generally, Aframax, the spot rate is a lot lower, as we can see in 2020 right here. But you know, for some reason, Aframax spot rate is higher than both Suez and VLCC. So that continues to befuddle me. Maybe it's just like there's not much oil to be moved around as of yet. So maybe there's less Aframaxes than there are Suezmaxes or VLCCs. So generally, because of less supply, price tends to go up. But again, I'm not really sure. And again, this is just a chart. So again, I expected actually the spot rates to start increasing more drastically. I expected this trend to continue, this upward channel trend to continue, but that's just not happening except for Aframax. So maybe Suezmax and VLCC are just slower to follow, as we can see here. This is the 1 year chart from last May. Okay, so again, of course, you can see what happened to the stock price. Kind of looks like this, in line with what the spot rates have been doing. Excuse me. So let's just do, again, 5.2% of the tankers is used for floating storage. Floating storage was huge for VLCC carriers in the pandemic, and then it tapered off a little bit, understandably, as demand for oil sort of semi-increased and more people offloaded their storage on tanker, because it's very expensive to store your oil on tankers that charge $100,000 per day. So tanker deliveries, sort of relatively in line with what happened in 2020, but still below 2019 and 2018 levels. Around 235 were ordered in 2020, and if we say that, you know, June is half of the year, then 103 tankers were ordered as compared to 2020. So if you double that, it's 206. But if you account for one month, it's about previously in line with 2020, which again was a decrease from 2019 and 2018. So again, tanker deliveries, not much to be said there. Tankers sold for recycling. Now this is semi-exciting. 52 tankers have been sold for recycling, which are more than have been sold for recycling in 2020 and in 2019. So that's a good sign to me, because if you basically double this number, that's 104 tankers sold for recycling. And again, we need tankers to exit the market in order for the spot rates to increase. So as more tankers exit the market, the better it looks in terms of future spot rates down the road. And as being a long-term value investor, that's good for NAT, who is currently ordering tankers. And if they have more share of the market and more tankers exit the market, then of course NAT will be profiting from that. But again, that's all long-term down the road. And new orders of tankers, again, look relatively subdued, which is good. 71 tankers have been ordered in 2021 versus 181. So even less than last year, if you double this number, and drastically less than, I would say, 2019 and 2018 levels. So again, that's all good for supply and demand. But yeah, thanks to Clarkson's Plateau Shipbroking. And next thing I want to look at is, of course, the Roni cases. So we can see there's been, you know, I don't know, 1 wave, 2, 3, this is the 4th wave maybe. And a lot of this hump right here has to do, of course, with India, which we'll look at in a second. But again, it looks like this too, it peaked at around close to 900,000 cases and is slowly backing off to 800,000 cases. And hopefully we'll see this decline as more people become vaccinated. And what this means is increased travel, so for example, the flights to Las Vegas have drastically increased as casinos are opening and more people are being able to flood that market. So that's a good sign to me. And again, I really feel for the people in India. My heart honestly goes out to them because it's a tough situation they are. But again, it is good to see that hopefully that this is the final receding line right here, and it'll just continue to go down. But what I mean by that is, let's look at India. And again, yeah, kind of big decline, but huge increase up until May 7th. And then finally we can see a bit of a decrease. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, hopefully we'll emerge from this together, and it'll be a good time. But on the other hand, the US is doing really well. So the CDC just updated its mask policy, and they announced that fully vaccinated people don't need to wear masks in most indoor and outdoor gatherings. While many celebrated a full-face summer, businesses struggled to make sense of an assignment they were handed with few instructions. So again, things are opening in. Oh, I don't know why my video just said. So things are opening up in America, and that's a really good sign for the rest of the world. And I think a good sign for tankers, because demand for oil will just go up. And in line with that, this is the year-to-date crude oil price. As we can see, it started at $47 at the beginning of the year, and now it's at $65. So 30-40% increase in price. And that's what I mean when I talk about inflation. Not only inflation, but also, this was superficially lower because there was such low demand and such high supply of oil. So that deflated the price quite drastically. But now 65 barrels of oil, let's just look at the 5-year chart. I mean, it has, like, the last time it was like that, it was like, 2018 levels. So, I like it where the oil price is going. And of course, as oil goes up, so does oil tankers tend to go up. So again, I'm going to be holding my shares of NAT, just getting those dividends, putting it back into other stocks, and just hoping for the best. So that's what I'm doing. Again, is close to celebration of the anniversary of my channel. So I appreciate each and every view that you guys have had, and the tremendous support that I've had throughout my journey. Please leave me any suggestions in the comments, and if you'd like to support me, again, there's always a couple links down in the comments section or in the description. And I'm hoping to do a live stream, so stay tuned for that. And cheers, guys. Love you all. I couldn't have done it without you, and for all the support. And I'll see you next time. Go NAT.